Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, December the 10th. Hey, we're going to connect with our guys and talk all about fishing in this area. Josh, Tom, Lee, and Gentry are going to share everything that they know, and help us put a few more fish in the boat. We'll be right back with what the guys have to say. Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, December the 10th. We're joined by our buttery crisp friend, Tom Ott, Mercury Pro staffer from up there at Huntsville, Alabama. He spends a lot of time on Guntersville. Tom, we know you're kind of down with the neck, but you're staying in touch with everything. What's going on at Guntersville right now?
Right now, I think you'd be better off to sing the Gilligan's Island theme song. We've got a lot of water coming down the river. It's really making things tough out there. I mean, tons of water, ugly water. And about the only thing that we're seeing are some nice mild temperatures to go along with the wet rain. But, it's still fishing. It's fishing a little tough right now, as you might guess. Those fish were really getting into a good transition mode before we got this bout of weather. And it looks like that weather's going to hang with us for another week or so. Right now, I think the program would be search and search and search, looking for a little bit of clear water if you can find it. There's fish to be caught. Obviously, they've got to eat, but it sure is making it tough on the guys right now, man. The crappie bite's probably the best thing going, and that's really a little dependent on some of that clear water and some of the water that's not moving quite as quick. And that's going to be around your bigger bridges, your bigger causeways, and your larger creeks that are out of the current somewhat. But right now, it's probably a better weekend to go Christmas shopping.
Well, if you're going to go fishing, would you want to find some current seams or wherever where maybe the dirtier water's washing past a bay or something where you got maybe a little cleaner water on one side? And then I'd think maybe a lipless crankbait might be the best thing to do.
If that's something you could locate right now. I mean, there's just a lot of mud in the river. But we've had some real good success in the past when we had this, real swift water, and that's exactly what we were doing. We were just fishing current breaks. There's going to be some fish that are going to be balled up in those little areas, and they're just waiting for the bait to come through. So I mean, it kind of positions the fish a little bit better. But if you're not familiar with Guntersville, I think it would make it really a tough go just to go looking for that kind of stuff. Now, the guys that are out there, 2 or 3 days a week, it's probably put some nice fish in some real predictable areas, I would say.
Well, I know you're itching to get out there and get fired up on that Mercury engine and start driving around that lake, putting some fish in the boat. But take care right now. Folks, that's our Mercury Pro staffer, Tom Ott, joining us talking about Guntersville this week. Thanks, Tom. We appreciate everything.
All right, thanks, Dano. Y'all have a good one. Be safe out there. Wear that life jacket and tight lines.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, December the 10th. Hey, we're joined by our Bass Cat Mercury Pro staffer, Josh Herron, from down there in that southern part of the Coosa River. Josh, what's going on Logan Martin and Lay Lake right now? Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, December the 10th. We're joined by our good friend Josh Herron down there at Reaction Innovations, our Bass Cat Mercury Go Boldly Pro. Josh, what's going on in Logan Martin and Lay Lake these days?
Man, we got a lot of influx of water. Definitely got a lot more water killer than we've had the past couple of weeks, but fish are still kind of blown out everywhere. I thought with a big weather system coming in that these fish would push back really hard, and they haven't. There's still fish from a foot deep right now to 20 foot. That's pretty much consistent for the entire Coosa. You can catch one on a crankbait in a foot of water in the back of a creek right now, and you're just as likely to catch one Damiki fishing on a ball of shad in 25 feet of water. So it's going to be a lot of searching, a lot of looking. It's not going to be a big consistent pattern in any direction. It's just going to be a lot of junk fishing and grinding.
So what I'm hearing from you is that you're going to run from one end of the lake to the other. You're going to burn a lot of gas through that Pro XS. You're just going to try to look at things that you think graph, find things, fish for them, or are you just going to burn bank? What are you going to do?
It seems like right now your bigger fish are on the bank, for me anyway, but they're really onesie-twosies kind of deal. It's not somewhere you can pull into a big pocket and say run around the entire thing and get bit. it'll be like one tiny stretch in a pocket that you might catch one or two off of, and the rest of it's dead water. That's kind of the really bad part about this time of year, is especially when fish get really spread out. It makes it a lot harder to fish for groups of fish. If I was going to fish for groups of fish, I'd spend a lot of time on the main lake right now, looking on the backside of like these current seams on the downriver side of these great big points and stuff, because there's massive balls of shad still in the river. So you can go out there and you can do the scrounger thing, the Demiki rig. A ton of guys are throwing A-rigs at them and catching fish. It's not to say you can't catch a big one, but that's where if you're looking for like multiples. But it seems to me like the bigger fish are on the bank right now. But like I said, they're ones and twos.
Logan Martin, what area of the lake are you going to target? Are you going to stay mid-lake? Same thing with Lay Lake. Where are you going to end up?
The top to the bottom, or the past week in general, I've stayed mid-lake to the bottom end, but the numbers are way down as far as what like I said, I primarily fish shallow, so my numbers are way down, but my weights are up a little bit. The middle of these rivers right now is probably going to be the most stable, just due to the fact that there's so much water flow. The bottom ends are on all the lakes on the coast right now are low because they're trying to get this water out of them.
Gotcha.
So it's got that toilet bowl effect going on. It's sucking off the bottom, and the upper ends are high because there's so much coming in. So the most stable ground right now is probably the middles.
All right, we'll go fun. Fire that Mercury up. Go play. We appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Ain't no problem, man. Crappie fishing is huge right now. They're everywhere.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, December the 10th. Hey, we're joined by our Falcon Boats, Mercury Motors Pro Staff, Lee Pitts from up there at Weiss Lake, that crappie king of Weiss Lake. What's going on at Weiss Lake? I'm sure you're seeing a little bit of dirt going through that system.
Man, I tell you what a difference a few days make. It's things are stained up here. We're having a lot of water come through, dodging a lot of debris, and it's got all kind of trash in the water right now. So things this week have been a little tough. It's we've tried to get out and kind of brave it a little bit, but with the elements like it is, the fish just aren't wanting to cooperate a whole lot. Still seeing some fish in some of the places that we were catching them in, but right now, until we get some of this mud out of here, things are a little slow.
Okay, so let's turn to the bass bite at Weiss. I'm sure you're going to want to crank that Mercury and move around quite a bit, huh? You're not going to be able to sit in one spot, are you?
Yeah, it's something just like you said. You got to get out and move around. The biggest thing is just finding some fish that are active. It's and look for some of the eddy spots. Look for some of the places that you can fish. If you're throwing a square bill or some kind of crankbait, we got so much trash coming through there that, it's about like being at some of the other places that's got grass in it. You just got to keep that bait clean. But, still catching some spinnerbait, black and blue jig, black and chartreuse, something like that, just trying to get a few bites. And, you're not going to catch them sitting at home. So whether it's flooding, muddy, or whatever, man, the fish still going to eat. So we still got to get out there and beat and bang around.
All right, let's turn to Neely Henry. We know that the water that's coming from you is coming down through us. What's happening at Neely Henry? What are you hearing out of here?
We're trying to give you guys down there all we got up here. So it's a lot of current. It's just one of those things that you got to get out. You got to have in mind when you take off that, fishing's going to be a little tough. You're going to have to bounce around, like you said. You're going to have to fire that Mercury up and keep it running and just knock around till you can find some fish that want to feed a little bit. Not saying you can't get bit or catch them. Like I said, you get around some fish that want to eat, you're going to put them in the boat. But it's just one of those things. I think it's a little tougher mentally for the fishermen. We're dealing with the current, we're dealing with the stain, we're dealing with the trash. It's a little aggravating, but hey, man, that's what makes it fishing. We got to get out there and get with it.
Yeah, I'm thinking right now, lipless crankbaits, some square bills, and maybe some spinner baits, maybe with a little bit of an orange kicker blade in that dirty water. I'm sure that's probably going to work. Lee, thanks for everything. Looking forward to getting you back out on that Falcon with that big old Mercury 4-stroke on there.
All right, guys. Thank y'all. Talk to you next week.
Well, good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, December the 10th. We're joined by our good friend and pro staffer, Gentry Gordy. Gentry, let's start at Jordan Lake. What's going on down there?
Hadn't been there in a couple of weeks, Dano, but reached out to some buddies, and they said with the stain water and it moving, when it was real stain like last week, they were up on the banks with the spinnerbait, in the little current breaks, but it's getting into that A-rig season. That's how these guys are catching these big ones, is from what they told me. You still find a good fish in the grass here and there, but, tournament-wise, if or just fun fishing, I think your numbers and your quality are coming off those A rigs.
Is it the kind of thing where they're running around with that forward-facing sonar, they're live scoping, they're seeing balls of bait, and they're throwing an A rig out there? Is that what they're doing?
That's right. They're getting on like your main lake points, especially when they're pulling some current and it's washing around one of those main lake points or the canal over, like going to the new lake. That's what they're targeting. It's something that'll group them shad up.
So if you don't have the forward-facing sonar on there, you just kind of want to look for pinch points and go fish through there. You may be able to idle over and find some bait balls and then turn around and fish it again. That'll happen. That'll work. All right, let's turn our attention to Lake Martin. If I'm going to drop that Falcon Mercury in the water, what am I going to want to do down there?
Martin is it's gotten a little tougher, and then I think it's because the water temperature just won't fall. It's heating back up with this crazy weather we're having. We had the cold spell a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So your better fish are still deep. You haven't had that big push of your more quality fish. I've caught a lot bigger largemouth and stuff when the water will get down in the 50s. It seems like some of those big largemouth will want to push up around some of the docks that are still in the water and in your shallower trash piles, but that hasn't happened yet. The water temperature is still 64 degrees down there. But they are being caught on top water. You jerk bait in the morning, and after the reaction bite kind of slows down, you just got to find your deeper points with your rock and stuff on it and drag a shaky head or a Texas rig and a jig and stuff like that.
Are you looking at football jigs? What kind of colors and what kind of trailers are you talking about?
I've done a lot better with, say, your little ball jigs, what they call it, your spider jigs.
Yep.
With a little bit beefier trailer on it, with the water not being cold, your crawfish still have some bigger claws on them. And it helps to slow the fall down. I just like a little bit bigger trailer on a smaller jig for action. But I'm still throwing a half-ounce ball jig over some of these points. Your color is going to be still your real dark browns and even your reds right now. Like I said before, I had a fish spit up a crawfish in the live well, and he had a lot of red on him.
Well, Gentry, as always, man, we appreciate it. I'm going to go put that Mercury and Falcon boat in the water. I'm going to come give you a call. Appreciate it, man.
All right, buddy. Y'all take care. Thank you.
Well, that'll do it for our Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, December the 10th. Thank you for joining us. We hope that these guys help you put a few more fish in the boat. Don't forget, you can find whatever you need here at Bucks Island, whether it's for your boating or fishing pleasure, whether you want to keep your boat going, or whether you're looking for that tackle. Bear in mind right now, the tackle store, the loft, is being expanded, so it's a little bit of a mess, but everybody will do what they can to help you find what you're looking for. And also, don't forget, December 17th will be our last day open until after the new year. So come on in, get what you're looking for. Come say hi, whether it's that boat, tackle, parts, whatever you need, come say hi. We'll look forward to seeing you. But again, December 17th, we're going to be ending the season here at Bucks Island.